Welcome back to Autism Labs. In the last episode, last week, we talked about one of the biggest challenges that we as parents face, and that's how to find the great help we need for our severely autistic son or daughter. This week, I would argue we're going to talk about something that's even harder. Oh my gosh. And that's how do you keep them, right? Because when you finally find someone who's patient and kind and steady and teachable and willing to do the hard work, that person is just incredibly valuable. They're not just helping your child, they're helping your whole family survive and breathe and maybe even begin to thrive again. So the question is not just, how do I hire someone? The better question is, how do I make this work in a very sustainable manner for them and for our family? And I think it comes down to three pillars: respect, predictability, and I hate to say it, but I think the third pillar truly is pay. But let's start with respect. They're not babysitters, so don't treat them that way. If someone's caring for your profoundly autistic son or daughter, they are not just babysitting. This work can involve communication support, behavior prevention, personal care, community outings, safety awareness, transportation, emotional regulation, physical activity, and yes, sometimes even crisis management. Folks, this is not babysitting. That is skilled, meaningful, demanding work. That's what this really is. So treat your helpers like the professional partners they are, or the professional partners you're helping them become through very careful, very mindful and intentional coaching. In many cases, these helpers, these colleagues, these caretakers become almost like extended family. They eat meals with you. They spend long days with your child. They will see your child at their best, their worst, and everywhere in between. That means they need clear expectations. They need accountability. They need support. And yes, they need love. Now, not the mushy or inappropriate love, but in the sense they need to know they matter, because boy, they really do. They also need protection from burnout. Don't throw them into heroic shifts before they're ready. Don't leave them alone too soon with high-risk behaviors. Don't expect one person to carry the whole plan forward. And don't assume that because they care deeply, they can absorb unlimited stress. Clearly, we as moms and dads can't, nor can they. Now, love helps, but love does not replace training, backup, rest, and a workable plan. So give them a schedule and a behavior playbook. This is sort of number two. Give them a schedule and a behavior playbook. Many helpers don't burn out simply because the work is hard. They burn out because the work feels unpredictable, chaotic, or scary. So one of the best things you can do is give them a clear framework. That might include a written or visual schedule for the day. It should show what usually happens, what choices your son or daughter can make, what activities are preferred, and how to balance harder tasks with the more rewarding ones. For example, maybe laundry, yuck, comes before basketball, yay. Maybe speech practice or therapy comes before a walk outside. Maybe a community outing works best after lunch, but not before. The schedule should not be rigid, but it should give your helper confidence that there is a plan, and your son or daughter too, so they know what's fixing to happen. Just as important, create a simple behavioral playbook. This can be 1 or 2 pages, and it might explain, how does your child communicate? What are the early signs of distress? What are the common triggers? What helps calm things down? What usually makes things worse? What should they do during a meltdown? What should they never, ever do? What does joy and fun look like? What does fear look like? What does pain look like? What does I need a break look like? And please don't hide the hard stuff from colleagues, from caretakers. Be honest about aggression and self-injury and elopement and toileting and sleep issues and sensory triggers or anything else that may come up. Yeah, we may scare away the wrong person, but that's okay. It's much better to know that before you invest weeks or months in training someone, that everyone's going to feel frustrated because that person maybe just isn't right, or they're frightened or they're burned out, right? You want to sort of get that on the table right up front. So a good playbook doesn't make the hard moments disappear, but it gives your helper a map, and a map builds confidence. Now, number 3, help them grow toward their own goals. One of the best ways to keep great helpers is to care about their future, not just your own needs. So if you hire students, or if you hire an aspiring therapist or a future teacher, nurse, social worker, maybe a behavior analyst, even medical professionals or wannabe medical professionals, ask them, what are they working towards, right? Do they need internship hours? Do they need experience for graduate school? Could their time with your child count toward a practicum, a class project, or supervise field work if they're working for like their BCBA? Would a letter of recommendation help them with CPR, first aid, seizure training, AAC training, or de-escalation training help move them forward to where they want to go? When you can, help them connect this work to their calling, because this is not just a job for them. For the right person, it can become a critical milestone on their own life journey. They're learning patience. They're learning humility. They're learning how to communicate without relying only on words. They're learning how to stay calm when things are hard. This is tough for me. I mean, I'm very bad at this. I mean, I'm almost 70 years old, and it's taken me this many years to get better at this. So just imagine what a 20-something-year-old's going to be going through. These are all life-changing skills. And when helpers feel they're growing, they're much more likely to stay. Number 4, make the days meaningful, as fun as possible. This is easy to overlook. If every shift feels like survival, people will eventually wear down. So build in the joy. That does not mean every day has to be magical. It won't be. Some days the goal is going to end up simply being keep everyone safe and let's just get through it. But whenever possible, create something to look forward to. A walk, a hike, a trip to the library, a drive to get a favorite snack, a climbing gym, basketball, swimming, music in the park, a simple picnic, a visit with another family, a volunteer activity, even a household task that gives your son or daughter a sense of purpose. Our son, Michael, 36 years old, loves to clean. You know, he likes to sweep. He likes to pick things up. He likes to pick things in the trash. It gives him, we think, a sense of accomplishment. So find those household tasks and inject them throughout the day to create that joy, that sense of accomplishment. One of the best things we've seen is pairing helpers and families together. One helper with one high support needs individual can certainly feel isolated, but 2 helpers with 2 individuals can feel safer, more social, more flexible, and more fun. There's backup if something goes wrong. There's camaraderie. There's another person who understands the work, and that really matters. Helpers need community too. We cannot forget that, folks. They need moments when the day feels less like a private struggle and more like a shared adventure. Enough said on that. Now let's talk about pay. Number 5, pay as well as you can and be reliable. Invaluable help should not be treated as low value work. I think teachers and teachers' aides are some of the most underpaid folks in careers in this country. And man, think about the folks, the gals, the guys that are working with your kiddo every day. This is not low value work. I know many families are stretched. I know the funding systems are complicated. The Medicaid waiver rates or respite rates may not be enough, but as much as possible, pay fairly, pay on time, and don't make people chase you for their paycheck. If your state offers consumer-directed services or self-directed Medicaid waiver options, learn how they work. These programs often allow you to act as the employer and use state funds to hire and manage support staff. And if the official hourly rate is too low, you may need to supplement when you can. That might mean a training stipend, holiday bonus, mileage reimbursement, covering the cost of meals during outings, paying for all activity fees, giving a small bonus after a difficult week, or guaranteeing a minimum number of hours so the person can count on the income on a consistent basis. Predictability matters. A helper who feels respected financially is more likely to build their life around the work, around your son or daughter, and around your family. A helper who feels underpaid, uncertain, or taken for granted is eventually going to leave, even if they love your child. Number 6, celebrate the wins, even the micro wins. A good shift is not one where your child acts perfectly. This is not the goal. A good shift may be one where everyone stayed safe, or your child communicated just one need, or they tolerated a transition a little better than last week, or they walked into the grocery store for 3 whole minutes without having a meltdown, or they recovered from that meltdown faster, or the helper noticed the warning signs before things escalated. With profound autism, we all know progress is often measured in inches, not miles. So celebrate the inches and be specific. Say things like, you handled that transition beautifully, or you gave him time, and that made all the difference. Or you noticed he was getting a bit overwhelmed before it became a meltdown. You stayed calm, and he felt that. You helped her succeed today. This kind of recognition matters. It's not fake praise. It's not over-the-top cheerleading. It's just honest, specific appreciation. You noticed, and you're letting your colleague, the caretaker, know that you noticed. Helpers need to know that you see the skill involved, the work involved in what they are doing and what they're putting out there on the table. They need to know the goal is not perfection, The goal is safety, connection, growth, and dignity. And number 7, don't just encourage feedback, plan for it. And boy, is this important. Finally, you got to build that feedback into the rhythm of the work. Don't wait until something goes wrong. Debrief regularly, like at the end of every shift. Just ask simple questions. What went well today? What was hard? Did you notice any triggers? Did anything surprise you? What helped? What made things worse? What should we try differently next time? What support or training would make this easier for you? And when there's been a very hard shift, debrief without any blame. The goal is not to interrogate. The goal is to learn. Your helper, your caretaker should feel safe in telling you the truth. If they're scared to tell you something went badly, you will lose the chance to fix it. You will lose the chance to build that relationship. Over time, these conversations will build a stronger team. They will help your helpers and team grow. They help your child get better support, and they help you stop carrying everything alone. You have this bench of caretakers. You need to grow them. You need to nurture them so that they can work better together and serve you, your family, and your child better. So the bigger picture, the hard truth is that we are in a caregiver workforce crisis. And this is not just your problem or our family's problem. Families everywhere are struggling to find and keep good help. So we have to think differently. We are not just hiring a sitter. We are building a support team, a strong bench around someone we love. Great helpers stay when they feel safe, trained, respected, fairly paid, emotionally connected to the progress, and able to experience some joy and some fun in the work. They leave when the job feels chaotic, lonely, underpaid, unsupported, or impossible. So our job as parents is not just to find help, it's to make helping sustainable. And I know this can feel overwhelming, but here's the hopeful part. When you do this well, something beautiful can happen. The right helper doesn't just give you a break. They become a trusted friend to your child. They may open doors to the community. They may see abilities others miss. They may bring fresh energy into the home. They may help your son or daughter experience more of the world. And they may remind you that you were never meant to do this alone. So start small. Create the schedule. Write the playbook. Say thank you more than once. Ask for feedback. Pay what you can. Build in the joy and the fun. Protect the people who are helping you, because keeping great help is hard, but it is possible. And when you build the right bench, it can change not only your child's life, but yours as well, in amazing and truly magical ways. I hope you have a wonderful week, and please come back next week for another episode of Autism Labs. See ya.